what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys coming back by. I had several requests to show how I do my shark rigs, what I use, how I put it all together, and we're leaving for the beach in a few days, so figured I'd make a fresh one on here, show you guys what all it entails. It's nothing really special. It works for me. It's worked in the past. I know several others use a very similar method. So yeah, I'll show you what I use and see what you guys think. Alright, so here's what we're using. We've got a 20-aught non-stainless circle hook. This thing's been great. It's a great size. It's a big hook. It's going to catch big sharks. So that's our hook. We've got 1,000-pound barrel swivels, 450-pound snap swivels, 600-pound sand-colored 49-strand cable, 2.2 millimeter crimps, 1,000-pound mono mainline, and 3.8 millimeter crimps to go for that. So this is all the material you need to make the shark rig. Like I said, you can make the leader as long or as short as you want. We normally make them between 15 and 20 feet just to give you enough room to grab and pull when you do get them close to the beach. As far as the cable's concerned, I normally go somewhere between 2 to 3 feet long, just to give enough room, and that material's pretty abrasive, so it works pretty good. And then, like I said, this snap swivels for your weight. You got 2 barrel swivels to connect leader to your top shot or main line, depending on how you have your rig set up, and then mono to cable, and then ultimately cable to the big hook. So that being said, you can start at either end. I normally start at the mono end, so we'll get our however much we're going to use out, and then we'll go from there. Alright, now I got somewhere between 15 and 20 feet of this 1,000-pound mono, so we're going to pick an end and we'll get started. So I like to do an offshore loop, so we're going to take it and do an overhand knot, and then we're going to kind of tighten it, run it down a little bit, bring it back around, back through, and so it'll be through the knot, through the eye of the swivel at the same time. This stuff's kind of stiff, so sometimes it can be a little difficult, but through the knot, through the swivel, push it through, and then once you get it set and get it kind of pulled tight, it's going to look something like that. That's what it's going to look like once you get the swivel onto the mono section. Then we're just going to kind of grab, pull everything tight together, and then we can slide our crimps up onto both parts of the mono and crimp them down so it'll be held together. Alright, so once we get that section on there, we're going to stick it in our crimper and we're going to squeeze down on it. Now with mono, you don't want to tighten down as hard as it'll go, just enough to get a good solid grip on it. You don't want to puncture it. So these crimps are big enough for 3, so what I do is go one on the side, about halfway, one in the middle, and then the rest of the way on this side. Alright, so that one is crimped, and we'll slide the other crimp on. What I like to do, I like to make a little twist in the line, gives it a little bit cleaner of a look, so twist it around a couple times. Like so, and you want to make sure you leave a little bit of the mono out the end of it so it doesn't get pulled back up into it when you're crimping it. So you put it down on the press, go one side down, halfway or a little better, into the middle, same thing, and then one more on the outside. Now we have that section crimped, so now we can move on to the other end where or we'll go ahead and slide our snap swivel on. Alright, so we're just going to slide it through, push it down to the other end, grab 2 more crimps for the other swivel, and then we're going to repeat the process for this for the side that's going to attach to the cable. I like using this coated cable. I've used the regular single strand wire, piano wire, whatever you want to call it, in the past. It works too. It's just a little more cumbersome to deal with. Doesn't have much give to it. It does last, but from what I've seen in the past, this stuff lasts really well also. So we're going to roll with it. So we've got a section of about, it's probably a little better than 5 feet. So we're going to come back about in the middle of that, because we'll have a couple bends and crimps and stuff we're going to have to do. So we're going to cut it off about right here. Set that off to the side. So now we have our cable section. So we do the same thing, wash, rinse, repeat. 2 crimps on each side. And we're still going to do the offshore loop. We'll go ahead and do the cable to swivel first, and we'll do the hook last. So just like we've done with the other, take it, the overhand knot, give you some slack in the tag end, put it through the loop and through the swivel, and then you've got it just like you want it. Pull it tight, and here you can kind of figure out how much of the tag end that you want to leave to crimp off of. So I normally leave, 4.5 inches or so, somewhere in that ballpark, and then you pull it down tight again. So once you got everything that looks right, need to put our snaps or our crimps on. So once we got it pulled down, put it in the first side, push it up to the top, get it nice and tight, cinched down. Now we'll just stick this one on here to hold its place for a second. Alright, so once we got that, we'll move out to the smaller section, and we're going to give it a crimp on the end right here. So we got 1, this is wire, so you can go all the way tight on it. 2 and 3. So nice clean crimp look, and same thing like before, put the crimp out to the end, we'll put our twist in the line. So we got our few twists, put it back in the tool here, squeeze down once, go to the middle, second time, and then out to the end. Yeah, so we got 3 solid squeezes on that. So that end, your cable is now attached to your mono section, and it's a really good connection there. So now you have the remainder of your wire here. So we need 2 more crimps, and we can attach the hook. So like I said, the hook's 20-aught, non-offset, non-stainless circle hook. These do come with barbs. Obviously, I always crush my barbs. Makes it a whole lot easier to get the hook out. These sharks are, it's normally a race against the clock of getting them back into the water. So try to get the hook out as quick as I can. So one thing I like to do, I just stick them in this first little section of my of my crimping tool here and just put the barb right on the bottom and squeeze it down, and it will actually press that barb into the hook. You can see then it is just a nice smooth, trying to get it to where you can see it, maybe you can see that, nothing for it to hang on. The hook pops right out and you don't damage the tip of the hook. So now we can put the hook onto our cable, do it the exact same way. Just do overhand, and then take our tag, run it back through the eye of the hook, to the end, pull our tag in, everything pulled up tight. Now run our crimps up here, get them pushed up tight. Same thing with the last one. Stick it on to hold its place. And then we're going to set it and stick it. Now 1, 2, and 3. Now we can pull this one down to the end. Do our line twist. Squeeze it. 1, 2, and 3. And there you have it. It is completed. So to walk back through it. 20-ounce circle hook. It's a 600-pound, 49-strand sand colored cable. I like the sand colored because it sits on the bottom and doesn't look too suspicious out there. 2 crimps, line twist, run down to 2 more crimps, line twist to your 1,000-pound swivel. It's going to be your connection from your cable to your mono. Monos then connect the same exact way. 1,000-pound mono, length of your choice. Depending on if you're kayaking it out or if droning it out, however you want to do it. This method works fine for those. And of course at the end you have your snap swivel for your weights, and then last 1,000-pound swivel to attach to your top shot or braid or however you're running your setup. So that's how I make my rigs. Like I said, it's pretty simple, not a lot to it, but very strong system. It's worked for me in the past. I'm sure it works for other people. If you're interested in it, like I said, I'll leave a link to the Instagram description. I'll also put a QR code at the end. You can just scan it, take you right to the page. Shoot me a message. I'd love to make you one. I can make these shark rigs in any size. I can do this setup on a much smaller scale. I can do pompano rigs, barracuda rigs, king mackerel rigs, chicken rigs, double drop, single drop, whatever you want. Shoot me a message and I'll get it made up for you. And I can't leave you without a good word here. So this is seeking God's direction for purpose. It says, in our busy lives, it's easy to neglect our daily time with God. We rush into tasks without seeking His direction for the day ahead. It's like embarking on a journey without using navigation. We risk wandering aimlessly without purpose or direction. Jesus, our ultimate example, sought God's guidance constantly. He understood the significance of God's purpose and sought Him early and often before making decisions. How much greater should we do the same? If you're longing for a change or seeking God's purpose in your life, turn on your spiritual navigation. Seek God daily, allowing Him to direct your path. Trust that in doing so, He will transform your course and lead you towards His divine plan. That's a good word for us today. So let's go make tracks and let these tracks lead us to His divine plan for us. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you in a few days, headed to the beach. Let's go catch some sharks.